if you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent in the state of Ohio, we're going to be going over the exact steps and qualifications that you're going to need to have and go through in order to become a licensed real estate agent in the state of Ohio. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jonas Helbert. I am the broker owner of Streetlight Realty. We are based out of Dayton, Ohio, but we license agents through the entire state of Ohio. I'm also a real instructor. I'm also a real estate instructor. So if you are taking pre-licenses classes, if you're depending on who you're doing that through, you may have me as an instructor. I do keep those two worlds separately, so I won't mention who they are when I am making videos like this. Just like when I'm in the classroom, you will not hear me talk about what brokerage I'm with. Now let's get back to what it takes to become a real estate agent in the state of Ohio. Now, the information I'm going to be going over with you is directly from the Division of Real Estate through the Department of Commerce on the ohio.gov website. The requirements for an Ohio real estate salesperson's license, that's a mouthful. The requirements to become a real estate agent, not to be confused with becoming a member of the NAR, OAR, and being a realtor. Two different things. If you want to learn more about that, make sure you subscribe, and there will be a video, if there isn't already, describing the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent. Anyhow, what are the requirements to be a real estate agent in Ohio? The first one is you must be 18 years old. Number two, you have to be a United States citizen or legal alien, and you must provide proof of being a legal alien. Now, this is the exact verbiage that I am using directly from the .gov website. 3, you must be honest and truthful. 4, has not been convicted of a disqualifying offense as determined in accordance with Section 9.79 of the revised code. What does that mean? Some of these examples, but they could be relating to sexually oriented offenses, offenses of violence. So if you're a violent offender in some shape, way, or form, those are some of the items. If you want to look more into that, I'll try to provide a link. If you're unsure if that's something that you would qualify or that would disqualify you, feel free to reach out. I can always help you explore that. So number 5 here says has not been finally adjudged by a court to have violated any municipal, state, or federal civil rights laws relevant to the protection of purchasers or sellers of real estate. Or if the applicant has been so adjudged, at least 2 years have passed since the court decision and the superintendent has disregarded, whoops, I lost my spot there, has disregarded the adjudication because the applicant has proven by a preponderance of evidence that the applicant is honest and truthful, and there is no basis, in fact, for believing that the applicant will again violate the laws involved. It's a mouthful, but basically it's saying you can't have already gotten in trouble when it comes to buying and or selling real estate, and if you have, you basically need permission from the superintendent. Number 6, has not during any period in which the applicant was licensed under this chapter violated any provision of or any rule adopted pursuant to this chapter, or if the applicant has violated such provision or rule, has established the satisfaction of the superintendent that the applicant will not again violate such provision. Basically the same thing, but not exactly. So if you were already licensed and you violated anything when it comes to the rules and the laws in the state of Ohio, they need to make sure that you're not going to do that again. So number 7, have a high school diploma or its equivalent as recognized by the Ohio Department of Education. Equivalent, that could be something like a GED or something like that. If you're unsure about any of these qualifications, don't hesitate to either leave me a comment, reach out to me directly. I'm pretty easy to find. You can just type in my name, Jonas Helbert, Streetlight Realty, into any Google search, and you will come across all my social media profiles. You'll be able to come across my website, and there are multiple ways that you'll be able to reach out to me. And then the last one is you must be sponsored by an Ohio broker. That's why I'm making this video to begin with. You have to be sponsored by a broker to come on board to their brokerage. Before you ever take the final exam, you need basically a sponsorship. Now, we are always interviewing applicants to see if you're going to be a good fit for Streetlight Realty. So if this is something that you are considering and you think you're going to pursue, definitely reach out. We can have a much more in-depth conversation about some of the pros and cons, which I don't think there's a whole lot of cons really to Streetlight Realty. A little bias, uh, admittedly, but that's okay. But yeah, we would love to have a conversation with you. So again, the education requirements. So those are the bare minimum qualifications that you have to meet to become a real estate agent in the state of Ohio. So what about the education? What do you need to do in order to actually sit for the exam? Because you can't just study, take the exam, pass, and then become a real estate agent. You're actually required to take some classes. As I mentioned, I am a real estate instructor as well, in addition to being a real estate broker. And some of the education requirements are as follows. You have to complete the real estate principles and practices pre-licensing course. That is a 40-hour requirement. You have to take the Ohio real estate law course, including instructions on civil rights, housing discrimination, and desegregation problems. That is also a 40-hour course. And then you have to take the real estate appraisal course, which is 10 hours. And then last but not least, you are also required to complete a real estate finance course as well. There are a bunch of different schools that you can go through. You can go to community colleges a lot of times and complete these instructional courses. In the description on our YouTube page, you will actually find a link where you can get a discount through me to take your courses. It's a great deal. All you got to do is click on the link, fill it out, and I don't benefit from that. It just something that we offer. We have a partnership with Honduras College, and we are able to offer that to people who are getting ready to take their real estate licensing exam. So once you have completed all of that, you have to complete the salesperson examination application, which is kind of part of your sponsorship, right? You're going to say, this is who I am. You have to fill out a form. You've not been found guilty. You've not had any issues with this stuff. This is who's sponsoring you. Submit that exam to the state. They will then give you permission. From there, you're also going to need to do a complete criminal background check at both the state and federal level. You're going to have to complete some fingerprints, and then ultimately you're going to have to schedule your exam through one of the many different ways they proctor exams. And then once you pass the exam, there is a state and a national portion. You do need to get a 70. You need to pass both portions. It is possible. Maybe you pass the national, fail the state, fail the national. You would have to go and retest for the one that you failed. Hopefully, you would just pass the first time, but that is the entire process of becoming a real estate agent. If you are going to begin this journey, definitely reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you about what it is that Streetlight Realty offers for our agents. And honestly, what it really comes down to is we provide the most value at the most affordable price. That's for both new and established agents alike. Being a new agent, one thing you're going to have to be careful of is you're going to talk to a lot of brokerages. And these brokerages are going to tell you that you don't know anything and that there's going to be a lot of education and they're going to have to be watching over you, checking your documents, and you're going to require some mentorship, all of which is true. And then they're going to tell you that they need to charge you a premium. We don't do that here at Streetlight Realty. You get the same options as an established agent. Why? Because when you're new, you need the most help, both with the understanding of the business you're getting into, but then also financially, right? You're at the beginning of a career and real estate is difficult. It's 100% commission. And if you're not able to keep as much of that as possible, it just becomes that much harder to succeed. There's such a high failure rate in the industry that I decided, things have got to change. You can't nickel and dime the people who can't afford it. And that is the biggest sales pitch I could ever give to an up and coming real estate agent is be careful who you allow to sponsor you. There are several brokerages who will just throw mud on the wall, see what sticks, and move on. While you have made a tremendous amount of investment in time and resources and money, and then other brokerages make it difficult. We make it easy for you to succeed. So please reach out if this is the path you're going to be going down. I think it is well served that we have a conversation. It can be anywhere in the state of Ohio. We have agents all across the state. So I said I was based out of Dayton, but we have virtual office space. We got a great way of connecting with our agents, no matter where they are in the state of Ohio. I actually have an Ohio licensed real estate agent who actually lives in a different state. They're licensed here in Ohio, but they don't live in Ohio currently. And we make it work because we have the systems and processes in place to help you succeed. Don't forget, discount in the description if you're going to sign up for courses. And then don't hesitate to reach out so we can have a conversation about how Streetlight Realty can help you and your real estate career. Thanks again, Jonas Selbert. Let me know if there's any topics you would like to hear me speak on, and I would be more than happy to make a video on that.